guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for coming back. I appreciate you guys. Please leave a like and a comment so I know that you guys are here watching me. um if you're new here, so go ahead and subscribe. I hope you enjoy my content. And today's video is just gonna be a short, I'm gonna try to make it short, sit down video of me and growing up without a mom. So I guess I'll just start from the beginning. My parents were married, and I don't want to sugarcoat anything, so it is what it is. My mom ended up cheating on my dad with his best friend, and so my dad found out, and things got real really quick. And so, you know, obviously it didn't work out. So they got divorced, and I started living with my dad because they had a custody battle, and my mom just never had the audacity to show up to the court hearings. So my dad automatically won me off the bat, and I was blessed with the fact that I didn't have to grow up with her, I guess. I don't know. It's complicated. I feel like I need like 3 different videos of this, but anyways, so my dad won custody and I started living with my dad. But as a young child, like, I still wanted to see my mom, so on the weekends I would go visit her. But I had a #MeToo incident that is probably going to be for another video when I grow the courage to talk about it on a video. And I called my mom one day. I was like probably like 5 or 6 when I called her, and I told her, you know what, hey, I'm gonna be fine, but I don't want to see you ever again. Basically, like, that's what I said to her. And that was that. I never saw her again. She didn't try to call me for my birthdays, holidays, none of that. She just never, she didn't care. Or I don't know. I honestly don't understand her. I don't think I ever will. Like my sister has told me, I don't think I will ever understand her because I don't think like her. I don't act like her. And it's never gonna happen. I'm never gonna fully understand why she did the things that she did and chose her boyfriend over her kids all the time. Anyways, so I never saw her again. And my dad, he did the best he could. Honestly, he tried, but I think as a man, there's only so much you can do for a woman. Well, a girl, I mean, like, it was embarrassing, having, like, I hit puberty and my boobs started to grow, and I was kind of like, I think I need a bra, like, I was in middle school and I would see other girls wearing bras, and I'm like, I think I need a bra. And it was so weird, like, I still remember being so embarrassed and going to Target to buy my first bra with my dad, and it was weird, and when I got my first period as well, like, I freaked out. My dad did get married after, again, after he divorced my mom. He did get married again a couple years afterwards, but he got divorced again because that lady was just a really bad lady. My dad just doesn't have really good luck. And she was just a bad lady, and she did a lot of manipulative, wrong things to our family. And it got to the point where she made me feel so bad about myself, about not having a mother, about telling me all the time, you're not even your own mother loves you, and just calling me fat and ugly and useless. And so I grew up thinking that I'm useless, that nobody loves me, that I'm ugly, that I'm fat, like all these negative things. Like, I grew up thinking all these negative things to the point where I honestly was suicidal and had a couple times where I legit just wanted to kill myself and was on the verge of killing myself. And I guess I'll leave that for another video. But it was tough. It was tough not growing up without your mom, like, not having that best friend, somebody to confide in. Like, yeah, I would talk to my dad, but it's not like I can talk to my dad about boys, or, like, talk to him about girly stuff, or when I got my period, or, like, nails, things like that. Like, it just, my style, let me just talk about my style as well. Like, it was just jeans and a t-shirt because, I mean, I grew up with a man, um learning how to cook. I learned how to cook like a man, pura sal y pimienta. There's some men that hands down cook really good, but you know what, like my dad is not a chef, so I learned the basics that he knew, and just to survive and to feed ourselves, you know. And so my dad, like I said, he got married again, and he ended up getting divorced because it was just a really bad lady and she would bring me down a lot. So after my dad got divorced, I stopped seeing my mom when I was like, I don't know, I want to say 5 or 6, because it was before first grade. I don't know how old kids are before they hit first grade. I think you're like 5 during vacation, and like you turn 6 when you start first grade. So somewhere around that timeline, I didn't see my mom again. I gave her that phone call and I never saw her again. And like 3 years later, my dad got married. And when I was 14, I had just turned 14. My dad got divorced in the beginning of the year. And that same year, I was looking for my mom, and I remembered where my grandma lived. I went to go visit my grandma. And on Mother's Day, I told my grandma, because I had already done it twice, you know, Grandma, I'm going to go over because she told me your mom's coming. And I was like, okay, I'm going to go over, but don't tell her. And she would still tell her. And by the time I got there, my mom wasn't there. So on Mother's Day, I was like, you know what, Grandma, I'm going, but please don't tell my mom so that I can see her. I want to see her, you know. For my own selfish needs, I felt like I needed my mother there. I wanted to pretend that she loved me and that I mattered to her, you know. And I did it for my own selfish needs. And I showed up and my mother was there. I was 14. And I remember because it was just a little bit before I started dating my husband. And so I saw her, and honestly, it was such a whack experience. I honestly forgot what my mother looked like. I didn't have any pictures of her growing up, so it's not like I knew what to look for when I was at my grandma's house. And like I feel like honestly all my aunts kind of like look the same, like with the freckles and the big cheeks and stuff. And like me, but I don't have freckles, sadly. Um, but I got to my grandma's, and one of my aunts would come, and I'm like, I wonder if it's her. But then my grandma would be like, oh, that's your aunt. Another aunt would come, and I'm like, is that one her? And my grandma would introduce me as them as my aunts. And I think like 3 of my aunts came, and then it was already getting nighttime, and my mom finally showed up, and it was so whack. Like I saw her, she saw me, and she was like, oh, how you been? Like really? That's all you have to say? Like, oh, sorry. Like that's all you have to say? Like, how you been? And I was like, oh, good, you know, and like trying to keep things cool or whatever. And that was that. I went home, and after that, it was always me trying to contact her, me calling her. It was my birthday, and I would call her, you know, like, oh, hey, you know, like it's my birthday, just in case you forgot, just in case you want to mention something, just in case you want to remember that you carried this child in your freaking belly for 9 months and pushed her out of your vajayjay, you know, like hello. And you know, it wasn't happening. She just didn't care. She never called, and she never looked for me. And it got to the point where I had to sit down with her. I grew the balls and I sat down with her, and I was like, look, I'm not asking you for money. I'm not asking you to comb my hair. I'm not asking you to change my diaper. I'm not asking you for nothing but for you to just be affectionate and be there for me as a mother, for like emotional support. And it just didn't work. It was just always me putting in all that effort and me doing all of that work, you know, just. And to this recent day, it was always me. It was always me looking for her. And I realized I had an eye opener after I had my first child. Like, I don't get it. It has made me want to be a mother. Since I was a little girl, I've always said, you know, like I want to be a mother because I want to give that beautiful experience to a kid that I never had, you know. And I didn't think I was gonna get emotional, you guys. But when I had my daughter, you know, my eyes were opened for sure. My husband would always tell me, but as a stubborn person that I am, I wouldn't listen because I would do it for my own selfish needs. I needed to pretend that she cared about me and that she loved me and that she was going to be there for me. But after I had my daughter, and I was like, I love this little girl so much. Like, I can't picture my life without her. Oh my God, you guys, it's the pregnancy, I swear. I'm sorry. Like, I'm trying so hard not to cry. Oh, sorry, my daughter came in and I really just had to gather myself. Like I was saying, I just really love this little girl so much. I can't picture my life without her. And I knew at that moment that I would never leave my daughter. I would never choose any man over my kids. And although I love my husband so much, like if things were to go sideways or whatever, or she had a Me Too experience or whatever, I would hands down support my child. I want to be there for her, like through thick and thin. Like I don't know what it's like to have a mother, but I want to try to be that best mother I can, the best mother I can be to my child, and just give her the best experience, and hope that I can give her so much love that she can have all that love for when she has her own child, and she can be a good mother to her child. I'm breaking the chain. I'm breaking that cycle of my mom not loving me, of all those negative things. I'm breaking all of that and cutting it out of my life. And I have not spoken to my mom in a while. I have not seen her in a while. And I don't want to, honestly. Like, I'm done. I'm over it. I'm exhausted of being the one doing all the work. And it's just not fair. I don't understand it. And I've realized that the reason I would do it is just for my own selfish needs, that I've wanted to force myself to think that it was okay what I was doing, but it's not. I think I was hurting myself even more, And I feel like being pregnant the first time and the second time, I've been pregnant 3 times, but every single time I get pregnant, I can't help but think of my mother, and I don't understand her. Sometimes it gets to me, like, I don't get it. I don't. And I feel like that really affected me, growing up without her. I feel like things would have been different if she would have been different. Maybe I wouldn't be suicidal. Maybe I wouldn't have gone through half the things that I went through. But that is life. Things happen for a reason, and that's the way I see it. Everything happens for a reason. Even though we don't understand it or we don't see why we're going through it, it happens for a reason, and one day you're gonna understand why. I feel like I have grown. I have grown. I want to say it doesn't affect me, but I don't think that's something that I will ever not affect me. Like, it doesn't affect me because I'm over it, but it affects me because, like, I get emotional. I think it's just a girl thing, Like, I'll get emotional, especially during pregnancy. Like, I've just been so emotional, and being a mother in general, it's like a constant reminder that I will never understand my mother, that I will never be like her, and that, it is what it is. And I just want to be the best that I can be, basically, that's, it affected me. But now I'm gonna have 2 kids, Now I'm slowly understanding that you have the power to write your own destiny. And I chose not to cry over it, even though I just cried. It's the hormones, I swear. But I honestly haven't broken down about it. Like, yeah, I think about it. Today is Father's Day, and I think about how hard it must have been for my dad to raise me on his own, and the things that he must have gone through, and the insecurities he must have gone through, and everything he must have gone through. And it's not easy. It's not easy being a parent. It's not easy being a parent, and I'm married to my husband. I can only imagine how hard it must have been for my dad being the opposite gender, him being a man and I was a girl. And I just, for that reason, I feel like I'm very patient with my child. I just try to be there for her and understand her and give her lots of love and kisses. And I can't wait to have my second little baby. It's gonna be a boy. His name is gonna be Oliver Ethan. For short, we're gonna call him Ollie. Ollie. And my firstborn is Cassidy Rose, and we just call her Cassidy. And when she's in trouble, it's Cassidy Rose. But yeah, it affected me, but I feel like I have grown. I have grown, and it affected me because now I want to just be a better version of a mother that I never had. So, yeah, thank you for hearing me out and my emotional, but thank you.